Back online.
Hey, we're back again. Okay, so we apologize for the technical difficulties kind of thing, but we're going to kind of jump right back in. So we need to be the voice of reason, and we need to make sure that our friends and folks that we work with, and especially the folks we worked with in the past, understand about mortgage forbearance, what that how that can apply to them. Can it help them? Can it also set them up for failure in the future? That's a big worry for us. And right now we need to be that voice of reason. You need to be that trusted advisor that people can go to when they need advice and need to know what's the bottom line here, kind of thing.
Educate your client.
So right now we do have a couple of other current challenges right now. Right now our landlords are continuing to see some real problems. So our landlords are getting hit pretty hard because a lot of the renters are not paying. And they know that they can't get kicked out and that kind of stuff. So if you are a landlord, if you have tenants, understand that's going to be a challenge for them. We are hoping the government does something for these people, but right now, they're kind of the landlords are kind of on their own, and a lot of them are kind of struggling. The other thing that is hurting on the real estate side of things is commercials has really gotten kicked in the teeth as well right now. Commercial leasing, that kind of stuff. So we are seeing a complete shutdown on that side of things as well. On the loans, non-QM loans, non-qualifying mortgage loans are all but gone for the short term.
Our money lender?
There are some, but there aren't very many of those right now. So self-employed borrowers, people with low credit, any kind of those who use bank statements, that kind of thing, those are all gone.
State income.
Yeah. But the mortgage lenders are really tightening down, kind of thing. And so we're seeing that if you got under a 620, it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt really bad if you can be done at all.
Wow, I've seen interest rate, one came through the pipeline the other day for 7%. And I'm assuming that's because they have a low credit score. Well,
and what we're seeing is there are several lenders that are still writing loans for the lower credit scores, but that's going to continue to be a challenge, whether it's an FHA-backed loan or whether it's a conventional loan. The conventional loans are going to be a little bit better right now. The good news is that the government stepped in, kind of thing, and so when the Fed jumped in, the mortgage rates did come back down, kind of thing. We saw a lot better mortgage corrections on the conventional side than necessarily on the FHA side. Those are still on Wall Street being deemed as a more riskier buyer, kind of thing. So we are seeing that mortgages is leveling out a little bit, and that was kind of a concern for us going into last week especially. And so that's starting to settle a little bit more and make things a little bit easier to do, kind of thing. No matter what, regardless of the loan product, you're not going to see any kind of real anything out there for our troubled borrowers, for folks who are right on the lip, for those folks who are on the edge. Best thing they can do is to work on their credit right now, and just being straight up about it, kind of thing. If you're under a 600, it's very doubtful that your clients are going to be able to find it. If they do, they're probably going to end up with it, like Ming said, a 7% rate, kind of thing. All right, on the economy. So the week before we had 3.2 million unemployment claims. This past week it jumped to 6.5. We went from the old record of 3.2 and doubled it to 6.5 million people are unemployed. This is something that is going to affect housing but it's not a long-term effect as well, kind of thing. Because if you actually look at what happened with housing, pending home sales jumped 9% annually in February and 2.5% over January. And so right before COVID-19 kicked in, the real estate market was really doing exactly what we felt it was going to do. It was really strong, and it continues to be really strong. So on the upside, we went out and talked to Goldman Sachs, not us, but Keeping Current Matters, talked to Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan Chase, and Morgan Stanley, and said, what are your predictions? And so it looks very much like this, have a big drop and then right back up, kind of thing, is what we're really looking at happening here. And we're looking to see this happen, especially in housing. Yes, this is going to affect us, but there is a real upside to this, because on the other side, you'll notice that the growth is higher than where we started. And so if we're starting off here, well, we're going to end up here in another couple of months, kind of thing. So understand that the work that we're doing right now is very, very important to get us to where we're trying to be, kind of thing. You need to be building those relationships. You need to be strengthening those bonds with your clients, building trust. Now's the time to do that. You've got a little, the next quarter is going to be very challenging. So, on the Price Waterhouse survey,
just so you know, I'm getting kicked in the underneath because I'm trying to look at comments to see what anybody else is saying.
And it's coming up.
Oh, okay, sorry.
So anyway, so Price Waterhouse survey of 50 leaders from a cross section of all the industries said that, if COVID-19 was done right now, how prepared are you to jump back into operations? Less than a month is what 66% would say, and 90% of them said that within 1 to 3 months they'll be back to 100% kind of thing. And so what we're really seeing is that this is a COVID-19 recession. So this is going to hit us through COVID-19. Once we get through that, we should really be able to jump right back out of that. The housing center went into this recession underbuilt rather than overbuilt, kind of thing. And that means the economy is going to rebound, which it will. Housing is going to be the leading force driving our next recovery coming out of this, kind of thing. See, the market economics are on our side. Supply and demand is really, really our favorite in our favor at the current moment. So real estate's going to boom as soon as the coronavirus threat is gone. This is from Fox News. We said the same thing on MSNBC. And if you actually look even like what's happened in China, the Chinese market has erupted as soon as they got through the whole scare over there, kind of thing. So I pulled all of our territories south side: Henry, Rockdale, Clayton, Newton, Coweta, Fayette counties. This is for the last month in this year versus last year. And so on one hand you think, oh wow, the whole world's crashing down. No, it isn't. Overall, we were about 10% down across all those counties, or 9.6% down. But see, if you also look at the really interesting thing you'll see is that the inventory was also really, really tight. We had less homes for sale this year than we had last year, and last year was already a challenge. We are still in a seller's market. We have more buyers than we have sellers, and you can see this information out. And I'll share these slides as well on the for this PowerPoint later on Workplace and on Facebook, kind of thing. Our median price per square foot has continued to rise. So this shows for the last year, where is our price per square foot? Because this is one that's been, we've been hearing a lot of people talk about, oh, well, the market's going to drop, the market's going to drop. The only reason they say that is because they lived through 08. And in 08, the market tanked.
Oh,
we don't have the same market realities now as we do then. Right now, people have twice the savings they had. We haven't taken out nearly as much in equity out of our homes. 37% of all U.S. residential properties are fully owned. So we're not seeing that same kind of pressure on the market. And so we're also not seeing prices drop. We're seeing prices continue to have a steady increase is really what we're looking at right now. So, we are seeing some folks throwing some crazy lowball offers, and they're getting laughed out of the house, kind of thing. I
got one that came in at $55,000 below the asking price when we actually priced it right at probably slightly below market because current trend. Yeah. And so my client just laughed, and I told the agent, say, listen, it's not going to work.
Yeah, because see, the thing is that there's no need for that. That's not what we're seeing happen now. There may be some opportunities with different people that have to sell right now, and in those cases, can there be a deal here and there?
Absolutely.
There can be, but overall, we're not seeing any kind of price deferment right now at all. All right, now, when you talk supply and demand, first you think, oh, this is a bad thing. Actually, this isn't. Well, for the market, it's not a bad thing. This is days on market. Days on market continue to drop during COVID. This is as of right now. So I just pulled this. So as of a week ago, our days on market are going lower. Okay, so we still have more buyers than we have sellers on the market. As a matter of fact, we probably have even more buyers to sellers ratio right now because we have a lot of sellers that have pulled out of the market to get through COVID-19. They don't feel comfortable showing their homes right now, and so that's just a reality of it right there. Now this one right here, this is showing that on volume we are seeing a drop in volume, and that's to be expected. It isn't drastic. It's not the same kind of drops that we're seeing on the economy, that kind of stuff. But are we going to see a drop in volume over the next month or two? Absolutely. And that's what we're seeing on here as well, is when you look at the pending sales. So it's not dire. Matter of fact, it's still better than November and December were, kind of thing. So I want you to look really quick at what these companies here have in common. And it's a pretty it's a kind of across the board. So you got Disney, General Motors, Procter & Gamble, Bulova Watches, Coca-Cola. Anybody, I want you to think about what these companies started at. Because all these companies started during the Great Recession in one way or another. And when you think about things like Disney, now not necessarily the Disney parks, but Disney himself, he was doing his first Mickey Mouse cartoons and sending those out. General Motors was you had GM that really grew market share during this time. Columbia Pictures, Paramount Pictures, both during a very a poor time for the economy. These companies were all started then. These companies thrived. Well, maybe not thrived. They came through and really built their businesses. They did not pull back. They did not stop investing. They did not continue to work and set themselves up. The recession, the Great Recession in 1929, was a tough time for the entire country, similar to what we're having right now. It's a tough time for everybody. All of these companies came out of it, and within 2 years, owned massive market share. And so we're in that same place right now. Do you want to be a Coca-Cola, or do you want to be one of those companies that just went by the wayside because they weren't prepared and they weren't working their way through? This whole thing can get inside your head. And when you look at all these companies that rocked it, and they are common names in our vernacular. They're part of our world right now. But these are companies that were startups, that were brand new, that were really trying to get themselves established. Disney hadn't even started Disneyland. Those kind of things were happening back then. Campbell Soup was brand new. These were startup companies, like so many of our real estate businesses are. So please don't think that because things are bad now and things are tough. Now's the time when cream will rise to the top. Now's the time when we really need to be, I want you to be the Bulova Watch of real estate, kind of thing. Wouldn't that be a great thing to do? So please don't get discouraged during this time, and realize that there's a lot of things that we can do to establish and set ourselves in our business so that we can continue to truly rock this out, kind of thing.
What we need to do is change our business the way it was done and tailor to today's market, but tailor with confidence, because when you present your product with a confidence, I can tell you right now that your clients will choose you over someone else at this point.
Yeah, and it's about having your head on you, kind of thing. So I just kind of want to finish up with 5 principles that we'd like for you to kind of try and employ to help you with your client. And so first of all, keep safety in mind, kind of thing.
Absolutely.
Help your clients understand and what to expect during this time. It's really about communicating that whole kind of thing. Be very, very flexible during this time, because some people are going to be completely freaked out. Others are going to be the exact opposite, right, and be like, well, can I bring my second cousin's hairdresser with me, kind of thing. And so, you've got to be very, very flexible for how folks are still going to be wanting. You have to be very patient with our clients right now as well.
Absolutely.
Second feature is that we really have to make sure that we are just showing amazing transparency. So that means that we have to communicate very regular and a lot. We have to share updates, respond really quickly to any kind of concerns. And it explained everything from the buying and selling process and how things are going. It explained, these new addendums and things that we're trying to send out, kind of thing. We want to make sure that we're offering them a lot of choices, kind of thing, and send them options, all the disclosures, kind of thing. Make sure that this is about no pressure. This is about what's right for them, and so it should be no pressure, no hassle, kind of thing. We also need to make sure that we are truly working on collaborating with them. And one of the best things that we can be doing right now is video. Like you're watching us on video, kind of thing. So Zoom meetings, Facebook Messenger, FaceTime even, kind of thing.
And you know what's funny? We always follow off virtual CE, and now because of the climate we're in, we're offering virtual CE. We didn't think anything of it, but Alan's class for tomorrow, he's got 250 people signed up to watch. Now, y'all, that's a lot of people.
Yeah.
So I think if you can do something with video, even just the first time home buyer seminar or something like that online, people are bored. They're looking for things to do, some education, they want to be ready once this market get out of its funk. They won't be ready to be the first one online to obtain what they need.
But look at video. That's a two-way street. In the past, we've been talking video largely from like big presentations and things. I'm talking about interactive video where
Yes.
we're talking back and forth. That kind of stuff does really, really well. Group settings, those kind of things. Can you be doing Zoom home buyer classes right now?
Absolutely.
Yes or yes. I mean, how about Zoom home seller classes? Yes. These are great things for us to be doing right now, and your clients will appreciate it as well, kind of thing.
And back up really quick. I know it sounds weird, but for those of you who have clients in your database, please reach out to them and say, play a bingo night and do a Zoom meeting on it. Not only would it give you a sense of community, and two, guess who they're going to think of when they're ready to sell or buy. So, make it fun. Make it to where you break the norm and you break the monotony. So make it exciting.
Yeah. Last thing that we want to encourage you is to empower your clients, kind of thing. It has to be their way. It has to be
Absolutely.
Their idea, kind of thing. They need to be the hero here, not you. Your goal here is you always want to be the guide. Let them be the hero. That's the best way to take this right now. All 5 of these principles are really how you handle adversity and times of stress, kind of thing. And so we want you to kind of try and take that back out to your clients and really empower them, because the world is not going bad. When you look at our numbers, kind of thing, real estate's actually doing really, really well compared to how a lot of, if you're in a restaurant business right now, things are really tough for you, kind of thing. And so while for us, most of our transactions are 2, 3, 4 months away, kind of thing, that means that now's the time we need to be doubling down, tripling down on the amount of engagement and the time that we're spending engaging and working with our clients. So thank you very, very much. We really, really appreciate your time today, and we hope that you go out and get it, just keep it rocking. We're gonna keep doing these.
Don't get a kid.
That's a get a kid. Anyway. All right, but thank you very much, and y'all have a great day.
Thank you. Have a good day.